Thank you, Masanda. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to introduce Margaret Weiss to you today. She is the Ag Literacy Coordinator for Madison County CAREE, which stands for Conservation, Ag Resources, and Environmental Education. Margaret began with the program in 2008 through the University of Illinois Extension Service. She assumed the full-time coordinator duties in 2020. Her career history has been in the field of education. Most of her days are filled with sharing about Illinois' agriculture and conservation to fourth graders throughout the 123 classrooms in the Madison County area. The CAREE program began in 1996 with the mission to bring accurate information about the ag industry and environment to students, teachers, and the community. That mission and the need for it continues to grow each day as we are all becoming further removed from our agricultural heritage. Margaret enjoys bringing this awareness to both the young and the seasoned, which was a good group for today, through interactions at schools, libraries, farmers markets, and other ag-based events. Please help me welcome Margaret and her assistant outreach coordinator, Paige. And come on up.
Good afternoon, and thank you for lunch and for this opportunity to share with you what Madison County CAREE is all about. Our Zoom people, there we go. Up in there. All right. So, as Ann mentioned, my name is Margaret Weiss. I am from the Highland area. I've been with the CARE program since 2008. And then it was about 3 years ago when I took on the actual full ag literacy coordinator position. Paige Horstmeyer is my outreach specialist, which means she too goes out with classrooms and also helps with a lot of the community activities I would like to share with you today. Switch. All right, so CAREE is an acronym. It was created back in 1996 when a group of like-minded people, they were farmers, fertilizer companies, businesses, they just really believed that students were not learning about agriculture and conservation. And so they got together in January of 96 and they created CAREE. We are a forerunner by a couple of months of what's nationally known as ag in the classroom. So if you have a fourth grader in your life.
Sorry. Are you sharing the screen?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We're trying to accommodate for our Zoom friends. So going back to getting the acronym of CAREE, it came about through one of the original board members wanting us to be able to incorporate agriculture along with conservation and the environment. Ag in the classroom is what you're accustomed to hearing it being known as now. And if you have a fourth grader or have had a fourth grader in your life in the past 27 years, we have come in contact with them at their schools. We are in the majority of the private, parochial, and public schools here in Madison County. Okay. There we go. So the basic mission of CARE is to actually do just that. We share about conservation, agriculture, and the environment. Not only with students, but we teach a lot to the teachers. We have a lot of teacher workshops that we perform so that they can take that information back into their classrooms. And then we also do a lot of community events. And so we try and enhance their understanding of where their food comes from and the history of Illinois and about agriculture and conservation. Our board is an advisory board. It is made up of 9 members, and they are all representative of the community that we have here through the University of Illinois. And so originally, when I started 15 years ago, the CARE program was kind of housed under University of Illinois. And since then, around 2011, we had a little bit of a transition. And so now our employee entity is through the Madison County Farm Bureau. But we have a representative from the University of Illinois. We have 2 members from the community at large. That is on our board to help bring us community thoughts and ideas. We also try and make sure that one of those people is in education. And our good fortune is our U of I representative is also a past teacher. So we get that educational base along with getting the agriculture and conservation. Madison County Soil and Water District provides 2 people, so they bring in a lot of the conservation and the environmental education parts. And then there are 4 representatives from the Madison County Farm Bureau. Those last 2 entities are large donors to us, and pretty much from the origination of the program, they have had that much presentation, with 4 people. Okay. All right, the way that CARE is funded, primarily we write grants. One of the biggest ones that we receive is the IAA grant, which is the Illinois Ag Institute or Association. And theirs is based off of our prior year's activities. So in a little bit, we'll be sharing some numerical values, like how many kids we have seen and so forth. So we do write different grants, the agribusinesses like M&M Services, Oberbeck Feed, just a variety of different agribusinesses provide contributions to us. We've been the recipients of several funeral memorials, and so forth. And then again, we have some larger donors like Farm Bureau. If you are a Madison County Farm Bureau member and you give to the CARE program, there's like a checkoff box. We appreciate that very much. Okay. All right. Our biggest program is through 4th grade. And so, as I mentioned before, if you have a 4th grader in your life or have been a 4th grader in the past 27 years, you actually had ag in the classroom in your schools. And so up until this past year, we had been going in 4 times. So it'd be 2 times in the fall and 2 in the spring. And interacting. Our first visit was about Illinois. So we talk about the state that they come from. We talk about the soil that we have here, the types of cash crops and specialty crops that we grow. And then we also get into the other commodities of our livestock. And we just kind of do a general or a basic one on our first visit. And then they do an activity. And one of the activities that we do for this first visit is they get an Illinois state map. And we travel around to the 102 counties that we have and stop at certain different ones. Madison County is a horseradish. We are renowned for growing 60% of the horseradish throughout the whole world. Illinois is also very proud of the fact that Tazewell County up in Morton, Illinois is the pumpkin capital of the world. We actually outdo California. And so we share those types of things as we travel around our little map, and they glue little items on to help them remember these. We also talk about the Illinois state symbols and help them get started. Generally in 4th grade is when they start learning this Illinois history base. And so we help reinforce that for the teachers. Our second visit, as I mentioned, is more in-depth about commodities. So we talk about the cash crops, talk about specialty crops, and talk about the livestock that we raise here. We also include information about nutrition during that one, not just about nutrition for people, but also about nutrition for the livestock animals. And then on the third visit, it's about ag technology. We talk about inventors that came here from Illinois, inventions like barbed wire, John Deere and his family and what they did, Cyrus McCormick, and a variety of other inventors, and how that has advanced agriculture. The reason why there's only 3 listed here is because it was at this year where we taught at 123 classrooms, and to go into these classrooms multiple times over, we basically ran out of days. And that idea. So instead of going in 4 times, we consolidated the commodities and we share those in 1 visit instead of breaking it out into 2. Okay. These are the participating schools that we are in this year. And so there are 34 different schools up there. Hopefully, some of them look very familiar to you. We are always looking, if there is an entity that's up there that you think would appreciate what we do, we would love to. We have reached out to Trinity and also to St. Mary. And so we're still working on the possibility of getting into those. But we pretty much have it covered here in Madison County. There aren't too many. We continue to increase. When we came back out of COVID, we were in about 89 classrooms that first year out, and then it grew to 105, and now we're up into that 123. And it can range anywhere from, so like St. Peter in Dorsey has a mixed class. It's like 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And so we go and see all of them together, all the way to Mitchell, and Mitchell has 9 4th grades. So it can be anywhere in between there. Besides doing the 4th grade program, we also have available resources. So if you know of a teacher or an educator, and it doesn't matter if they are in a school system or even a homeschooling system, a daycare, they're allowed to use our resources. They include our ag science kits. And so the ag science kits are pretty much all inclusive. They have lessons, they have the materials, they have teacher worksheets, and they pretty much vary all the way from apples to wheat and everything in between. So lots of different topics. Our ag mags, and actually before I leave, I have an ag mag resource that I would like to share with you. I brought 2 different ones today. One is about Illinois history, and it is the one that we give to the students on our first visit. And the other one that I have brought is on pollinator. It's very vibrant in color, and it talks about a variety of different ones. So our ag mags, which is short for Agriculture Magazine, are printed through Bloomington, through the Illinois Ag Association, and then available to us. Generally, what the Illinois Ag in the Classroom program does is work to find donors who will support and sponsor a very large printing of these ag mags, and then we're allowed to contact for those so that we can get them and bring them into the schools or use them for our community events. Young readers is just that. It's kind of on a younger scale. And then Terra Novas actually have a lot of research data that some high school and college students can use. We have a wonderful lending library. I have a real nice relationship with a lot of the school librarians and the community librarians. And if they're looking for a specific book, or if I am in need of a specific book, then I can contact them for the same thing. We also try and strive to work really hard with the teachers. We provide professional development lessons and workshops. I work with the ROE, and so the teachers can actually acquire their PDs, or professional development units, coming to our different workshops and also to that Summer Ag Institute, where it's kind of like a traveling teacher workshop. We go to agribusinesses, we go out to farms, and expose the teachers to as much as we can so that they can take that information back to their students. Okay. And with those donors helping us out, we're able to provide that to the teachers at nominal to no cost. When it comes to the kits and that, there is no cost affiliated with our kits or for the presentations that we go into with the 4th grade. We only have like a nominal fee for coming to the traveling teacher workshop, but that covers like lunches and a variety of other things. Earlier, I mentioned about some statistical numbers. So with doing the IAA grant, that's part of it, is providing them with the data and the information of how many people we have reached. And so from July to June 30th, 23, we did more than 400 programs, assisted more than 600 teachers with either kits or ag mags or being in their classrooms and doing that type of thing. That puts us into a little more than 38, 34 of those are the actual schools. The other 4 were other entities, educational centers. And so we came close to more than 11,000 students that we impacted. So getting that information out there about agriculture, conservation, and the environment. All right. And we affiliate. So besides on our own, we do a variety of different things. We work with 4-H clubs. The FFA chapters, for the Highland FFA, we do Farm Safety Day with them. For the Edwardsville FFA chapter, the Edwardsville High School plant sale. We are generally there with an education table and work with them. As I mentioned before, homeschools, PTAs and PTOs, if they're looking to do family science nights and those types of activities. So we do affiliate and work with a lot of different organizations. Thank you. And then this is just a little bit of some of the community events. We do farmers markets. We've done the Goshen, the Maryville, and also the Alton Farmers Market, where we have educational tables set up so that students or just the community at large can come up and learn more about agriculture. We've done a few things at the library. If you see all the cow, so this was Louise the cow, and I arranged for her. It's a traveling milking parlor that came to the library in Highland. And so we just do a variety of outreach when it comes to the different communities and providing hands-on activities, educational tables, interactions. And so we've done a multitude of things. We try not to concentrate. We try and really spread it out throughout all of Madison County. All right, and here's some contact information. And then when I pass out the ag mags, the statistical sheet actually has a QR code, and so it has all of our contact information on there in regards to if you do know a teacher or if you know of anyone else that would be interested in the activities and the mission that we have at Madison County CAREE. Okay. Any questions about what we do at CAREE? Yes. Okay, so the question was why only in 4th grade? If you would go to other counties, every county is allowed to kind of set things up to whatever works best for them. What they found out educationally was for here in Madison County, it was just the right slot. The fact that we do a lot about Illinois history in our presentation, that fits into their curriculum. Once you start getting into trying to get into some of the other classrooms, especially right now, curriculum based or their agenda based, if it doesn't fit into theirs, they're not as easily acceptable or even allowed to have us come in and work with them. So in other counties, they may, so select Bond County. Bond County has 3 major schools. And so they essentially get to do anything like K-8. For Madison County, with the large amount of schools that we have, it just seems to be the ideal slot. It fits into what the teachers' curriculums are, fits into what is being taught in that grade level. And so that seems to be our sweet spot.
I just have a very quick statement. 4th grade is a pretty popular year apparently because also, if you have a 4th grader, you can get into any national park for free, your whole car. You can go if you're able to bring around. Yep.
I appreciate that because I mean, a 4th grade. Okay, I will pass that one along, especially to some of my obviously my 4th grade teachers. That's good. Nice little tidbit.
Any more questions?
Anything else?
All right. This is yours.
That's great.
And that is the home nursery and Tosovsky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're most welcome. Yeah.